Welcome once again to another edition of Shelf Life Book Reviews Online. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch my videos. Now, if I sound a little bit more hoarse than usual, I currently have a cold, my first one in years. But anyways, I'm still going to do this, so I'll try to get through it without coughing or hacking or sneezing. The very first book I'm going to present to you, and there are two nonfiction books, both celebrity books. The very first one is Live Wire, Long-Winded Short Stories by Kelly Ripa. This is published by Diced and it retails for $35.99. Kelly Ripa is quite familiar face from television. She used to be on the soap opera All My Children for quite some time, and she was very popular there. And then she went to Live with Regis and Kelly. She talks about being intimidated when she first went to the show and she met Regis and she had her audition. She wasn't sure whether she was going to make it, and over the years with Regis, till Regis finally retired about 10 years ago, they had very good rapport together. And in the book, she has a lot of self-deprecating humor, like she's sort of putting herself down. And actually, right in the beginning of the book, she asks, why am I writing this book? She didn't want to make it a memoir, so she, as the title says, long-winded short stories. And she does talk about some interesting parts of her life, her marriage to Mark Consuelos, who is a popular person unto himself. And the stories she tells are quite humorous. She makes fun about her breasts. She calls them 32 AA long, and she talks about having Botox, but originally not in the place where you normally get Botox. She had them in her armpits because she was a profuse sweating, and she later had Botox in her face as she got older, but so there's a lot of interesting moments in the book. She also mentions there was a psychic on the show once, and she basically said, "You're pregnant." Now, Kelly had kept it a fairly closely guarded secret that only her family knew that she was pregnant, and this psychic knew she was pregnant. They used her psychic powers, and the secret was out, and so she was kind of shocked at the world knew. She wasn't ready to tell the rest of the world. The family knew. Those close around her, and so it was most fascinating that the secret was out. And so another part to the book, and this has been mentioned quite a bit in the press, that when she was having sex with her husband Mark, she suddenly passed out. And so he panicked. He called the paramedics, and she was taken to the hospital. And he dressed her fairly quickly. He even put on her Manolo Blahnik spike heels, which is kind of strange, just to put on to go to the hospital. And it wasn't anything really serious. And ovarian cyst had ruptured, and so that's why she passed out from the pain. And so the book is most engaging. She also talks about her children, leaving the nest eventually and going to college. In fact, if there's one downside, the last chapter about the children and college seems to go on a tad too long, but that's only a minor criticism of the book. Kelly Ripa is a most entertaining personality, and she makes for a very entertaining book as well too. So if you've seen her on TV, if you followed her on All My Children, this is definitely a book that you will appreciate and you will laugh out loud in many places. And the second book of note, which is also a celebrity book, is You Should Sit Down for This, a memoir about life, wine, and cookies by TAMERA MOWRY-HOUSLEY. This is published by Legacy Lit, and it retails for $35.99. Some might recognize this star. She was on Sisters, the sitcom sisters with her sister Tia, and they're identical twins. She was also in a program called Stitches, and there was a series with Tia and Tamera that has been on TV as well, and it was a very popular sitcom as well. She was also on a talk show for I think 7 seasons. It was called The Real, and it was recently canceled. But she was one of the co-hosts there, and once again, she was a very entertaining character. But now you will see her. She's done. I think 2 Hallmark movies. They were both Christmas ones. I don't know whether she's done one during the regular time season, but she has done 2 Hallmark movies, and so the book is really interesting. She talks about her life, growing up, about her sister as well too, and she has a bunch of witticisms in the book called Tamerisms, and she makes just little offbeat comments, such as, "It's okay to fail as long as you fail up. You need to look where you want to go. There is no express train to success, and choose your people like you choose your wine." And so it's very interesting. The book is rather short. It's under 200 pages, and so it's short, sweet, and to the point. She's in her 40s, and hopefully, as life progresses, there might be another book as she has more experiences. She talks about her husband Adam. They at times, like, they've been married for many years. They have children, but there was a time when the marriage was not as smooth, and she doesn't really go into details, but you can sort of fill it in between the lines as to what might have happened between the two of them. But they're back together. They're very happy, and that's the main thing. Now, she talks about her fans that when Tia and Tamera had the show, they got a lot of very positive fan mail. And there was one particular letter that sort of took her aback because it said, basically, "I watch your show. I think you're ugly and goofy." And that really hurt her. And there were hundreds of positive letters, but this one really, shocked her, and she really didn't know how to react at first, and she took it very personally. Fans are very fickle. Fans are very strange, and why somebody would say something like that is, well, there are a lot of trolls out there that say dumb things, and so it took her quite some time to get over it, and she mentions it in detail that she wrote to the person, saying, "I forgive you." Basically, it's just that's the way you are. So there are a lot of parts to the book. It's, like I said, it's not controversial. She doesn't talk about horrible people who are part of her life. It's basically positive. It's an upbeat book. She's a very spiritual person. So if you're looking for a book, that's under 200 pages, is a very quick read. You could almost read it in one day. Tamera Mowry-HOUSLey, definitely, you should consider this book as well as the Kelly Ripa book. So those are the 2 books I wanted to bring to your attention. Hopefully you will agree with me, and you will let me know if you do. I'm glad I got through this without coughing or sneezing. So anyways, hopefully the next time I have a video review, I'll be in a little better health. So until we meet again, stay safe, stay sane, stay social distancing, and do stay in touch. Bye for now.